All right, in the last video, we created a little pickaxe as a tool and then added a mining animation so that when we click, we can mine stuff. But in this video, I want to add some mines and I want to collect the metal and then maybe add some sound effects. I thought that would be pretty good. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start off by making my copper mine. And I'm going to go to this terrain editor right here. See, terrain and then editor. Click that and then go to edit. And now I'm going to look for grow, right? And then these are the types of growth, the shapes that you can make. I'm going to do the ball one. And then for base size, that's how big you want your growth area. I'll do this as 3 studs. I went from 6 to 3. And then strength, that's how much per second you hold down your mouse. I'm going to make that 0.5. There we go. Not too fast. And then I'll go down to choose the material type to apply. Hit rock, and then let's press it. There we go. We got a little mine. If you go too far, you can hit the erode. There you go, and take it away. That's pretty good. I'll go with that. And let's go to our part. I have corner wedge selected. You can go here, corner wedge. Nice. I'll just move that into the ground. Make sure collisions are off. Just push that down. And then maybe we'll duplicate it. Control D. And do a rotation. And maybe one more click. There we go. Let me go ahead and do a Control D again. And then this one, I'll just kind of rotate it that way. Maybe push it down in the ground. If you want to push straight down and you don't want these funny angles based on your rotation, just do a Control L, right? And that's going to switch to global axes. There we go. I got rid of that little L. I don't know if you noticed that. Control L. So that's local axes as opposed to global axes. All right, so we got our little mine stuff in there, our little mineral deposits. Let's go ahead and click the corner wedge and then shift click the bottom one so all 3 are selected. Right click and then group as model. And that model is going to be deposits. D-E-P-O-S-I-T-S, deposits. All right, we got to change the color. Let's go up here. In the deposits, I'm going to select all 3. I'm going to hit brick color and then maybe make it like a bright orange. Cool. I'll go to material. I'll make that like metal, even though it probably wouldn't look like that in real life, right? More like an ore, but that's all right. All right, I like that. On those wedges still, what I want to do is I'm going to turn can collide off. And if you turn can collide off, make sure you turn anchored on or they'll disappear and you won't know where they went. All right, and then I'm going to point out this can query. This is a very nice tool. They added this not too long ago. If you make can query false, your mouse won't detect it. So you could make your deposits invisible, turn can query off, and it'll be like your mouse won't pick it up, right? Ray casting won't pick it up either, which is handy. So your mouse is kind of like doing ray casting. All right, cool beans. Let's go to our deposits, right click, and then I'll make another model, and this is going to be my mine. Mine. Open that up. And in the mine, I want the type. So I'm going to hit this plus sign, and then I'm going to do S for string value, ST for string value, and then I'm going to put my type because I might want silver and tin and stuff like that. So this is going to be a string type, the type meaning mine type. We could actually make it mine type, right? Let's do that. Make it a little more clear. Mine type. And then we'll go down to value and we'll say copper. This is going to be copper mine. Of course, you're going to do the same with like tin and all the other ones. All right. Now, what should we do? Let's add a script. Let's go to this mine, hit the plus, and script. Because I'm going to put the spawning actions on the mines themselves, right? That way we don't have to worry about it in our game manager. So let's go ahead and change that script to mining. And we'll get rid of that print statement. I'm going to get my my deposits first. So let me get that. Deposits. Script.parent. That's the mine. And then we'll go down to 1 level for deposits. And then we'll get children. Cool. And now we want our mine type. and I'm going to clone it to the different deposits. So when you go ahead and mine it, you're going to know what you just mined. So I'm going to call this mine type template because I'm going to clone this. We'll do script.parent, that's the mine. We're going to go down to mine type. Cool, and now we're going to do a for loop. It's only going to run when we start our game. We'll do for I and v in pairs. We'll get our deposits and then do. I want to get my mine type template and clone it to each corner wedge, which is part of my deposits. So I'll say local mine type equals mine type template, colon, clone. Nice. And then I'll get my mine type, make the parent V. So V are the deposits. These are the corner wedges. I is like 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want to show people that you're not using the numbering system in your deposits, you could do this underscore. That's kind of handy notation, right? So we're only using V. All right, what else we got? All right, on each one of our corner wedges, each piece of copper, we are going to have this V get property change signal because our pickaxe, when we collect the metal, is going to make it invisible. So we're going to look, and when we have transparency, make sure you spell that right, transparency. When we have a change in transparency, we're going to connect that to our respawn function, right? So when invisible, it's theoretically gone, and then we got to respawn. So we'll make it disappear here too. We're going to collect it on the mine side, but we'll say it'll become invisible on the mining side. So we'll check to see if transparency equals 1. It's invisible. Oh man, it turned invisible. Then we're going to say can query will be false. So you can't select it with your mouse. Then we'll wait however long you want to respond, or you want it to respond. I'm going to say 45 seconds. Maybe in your game you want like 300, like 5 minutes or something. But we need to test it first. Then we'll do V. After that period of time, the transparency is going to become 0, which means it's going to be visible. And then we'll say can query is going to be true again. You can select it again. So let's take a look at what we got. Go ahead and hit play. See if we forgot anything like anchored and then they disappeared. There they are. That's pretty cool. We still can't mine it, right? And we still don't have a sound on that. Let's go ahead and work on that next. All right, so now that we have our minerals, let's go ahead and work on our pickaxe a little bit. We need a sound, and we also need to check to make sure we're kind of close to our materials before we do any mining. So I'm going to go to my toolbox, and I have audio selected here, and I searched for metal drop clank, and that gave me some good options. I'm going to get this 1 for 1 second. That's pretty good. I'm going to go over to my starter pack. That's where my pickaxe is. Open that up. I'm going to put the sound on the pickaxe. So I select the pickaxe, I hit insert, boom, it goes right in there. But I'm going to change it. I'm going to make the name short. I'm going to call this clank with a capital C. Cool. What else do I need on this pickaxe? I need a sound RE. We're going to actually fire from the client, but we want to play it on the server so we get a sound roll off with distance. So I'm going to hit that plus sign. I'll do a remote event, right? That's the doorway between the client and the server. I'll call this SNDRE. All right, one more thing we need. On our animation, let's click as dummy. Our animation's still there. I'm going to go to plugins, animation editor, click on them again. And when we go down right here, we want to have a unique name so we can fire an event. And that's going to play the sound. Clink right when we hit here. So I'm going to select those keyframes there, right click, rename keyframe. I'm going to call this hit. I'm going to save it. Bet. All right, we're going to hit these 3 dots. We could save it off, hit the 3 dots again, publish to Roblox. Now, you should have it. So just overwrite existing animation, and that's going to be the same ID. You don't need to change anything. But if you have a few digs like I did and you can't remember which one it is, you can click those boxes there, ID copied, close, go down to your animation and put that number in there. Notice the 398, if I do a Control V, 398, it's the same ID, so it overwrote the last one. But just in case you didn't have it. All right, now we got that. Let's go to our pickaxe. We have an animation that's going to fire when we hit our right keyframe. Let's open up dig, add some variables. We're going to need our mouse, right? So we have our mouse, initialize it to nil, but when we equip it, after we get our player, let's go ahead on the on equip and we'll say player : get mouse. And now we'll have the mouse, right? And we'll be able to use it everywhere because we made the variable global to the script. Local to the game, to the script itself, but global within the script. All right, so now on our onActivated, what should we do? We need, you know what, more variables. We also need the sound RE, and that'll be on the tool. We'll do a wait for child, sound RE. What else do I need? I need a cooldown, like a can mine, a debounce, so that we don't play it while we're actually mining. And I think that's good. I think that's all we need, just those three. Yeah, that's fine. We don't need the sound here because we're going to play it on the server. All right, we're going to get to our onActivated, right? That's where we did a click. And hopefully we clicked on one of our metal deposits. We're going to look, we'll say local part equals mouse.target, right? To see if we clicked on the target, let's go ahead and do an if statement. We're going to say if part, if it exists, if it's not null, nil, and part dot parent dot name equals deposits, right? Because in our mine, where's our mine? Close the dummy, open the mine. Here's the deposits. So we call these corner wedges. We don't want to search on that. Let's make sure that they're in the deposits, right? In the deposits model, right? Which is the parts parent's name. Then we'll do a can mine too. We have to check to see if we can mine. Can mine. If all those things happen, we're going to be good. We'll just paste that in there. Boom. We can check distance too. We got to make sure we're close enough. Let's do that. So we need our humanoid root part so we get the position of our character. We'll do char, wait for child, and there's a humanoid root part there, right? And then we'll do the distance from the humanoid root part to the part. We'll say HRP, C-frame has position and orientation. So we'll do CFrame dot position. That gives us our character's position. And then we'll look at the part's position. We'll take the magnitude. Did I spell that right? I think so. Magnitude. All right, so if the distance is greater or less than 10, then we'll be able to collect. Let me go ahead and put an N down here, format our document so we get our indents. So if our distance is right, let's go ahead and turn can mine off. So we can't mine right now. Let's freeze our humanoid root part in place so that he can't walk around while he's mining. So we'll say anchored equals true, right? We'll play, we'll keep that the way it was, but then we're going to get our track. And in the track, we have an event called keyFrame reached, right? We will connect that to an anonymous function, a function with no name. Keyframe name will get passed in. Every time we hit a keyframe in our animation, we're going to get that event. We're going to capture it. We're going to check to see if the keyframe name equals hit. If it does, Then we're going to play the sound on the server side. Sound RE, fire server, and then we'll catch that event over there on the server side. All right, we're going to get down here. We'll wait 5 seconds. After the 5 seconds is up, he's going to be doing mining, right? We looped our mine animation, so it's going to keep clinking. We'll do a can mine will now be true because we're going to stop after 5 seconds. The HRP's anchored will be false so we can move around. All right, now we need to catch this on the server side. Let's go down to our pickaxe plus add a regular script, a server script. Remember, we fired a server event. So I'll call this collect. We'll do our collection in here too. Get rid of our print statement. We need a few variables here. We need the tool, script.parent. We also need the sound RE. We need to capture that sound event. So we'll do tool, wait for child, sound RE. We need the sound itself. I'll just say SND for sound. Tool, I put it on the pickaxe, and wait for child, we called it clank. This name must match that name. Remember, I changed it, right? Capital C. Capitals matter. All right, now we'll just get our sound RE dot on server event, connect to this anonymous function, player. I could pass the part in. I don't think I need to. You don't even have to pass the player in, but you get the player, so there you go. SND play. All right, let's take a quick look at dig, make sure we don't have any mistakes. This is pretty short, so I think we're all right. We got our part. We're going to check to see if the part's parent's name is deposits. Can mine is true. I think we're good. Let's do it. Play. There's our little guy. We'll pull our pickaxe out. I'm clicking. Nothing's happening, right? Click on that part. Nothing's happening. I get close. Yeah, there we go. It's close enough, right? You want it to be reasonable. And now all we have to do is collect the metal. We have this working pretty well. Oh, we got to click on the part. So you have to click on a metal, even though he doesn't have to be exactly over it. I thought that'd be pretty good. And we can click many times, but we have a check. I thought that was pretty good. Let's go ahead and do a collection of the metal now. All right, so now we have to collect the metal. The easiest way to do that is to have a leaderboard. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to server script service, hit the plus, add a script. I'm not going to make it a full game manager. I'm just going to make it a leaderboard. So I'll say leaderboard. And we'll get rid of this print statement right here. Local function add board, right? And the player will get passed in. We're going to get a variable for our board. Instance new. It should be a folder or a model. The player will be the parent. And then we'll give the board.name, we'll call that leader stats. Leader stats. That must be spelled right. So make sure that it's spelled right. If it doesn't show up, then check the spelling. All right. And then we'll do local. Well, we need our copper, right? Copper. That's going to be a metric on the board. So we'll say instance.new, int value, and the board is going to be the parent of that. All right. And then we'll give copper a name. And I'll just call that copper. You can call that whatever you want, but that's what's going to show up on the board. Now, when a player is added to the game, let's do game.players to get the player service. And then we'll do the player added event, connect that to add board. No extra parentheses, just have add board there, the function name. This will be called when a player is added to the game. All right, so now they'll have a leaderboard. Let's play real quick, see if we got it. There we go, copper, 0, perfect. Let's stop that. We're gonna go to our dig, right? I have my dig and my collect right here, but let's go to our starter pack, pickaxe, and take a look, right? So we have the dig, we have the collect. What we're gonna need to do is talk from the dig to the collect, I'm going to put another remote event in there. Hit the plus sign, remote event. I hit an R, remote event, and this is going to be a collect RE. Let's say collect remote event. All right, now in my dig, I'll double click dig. I'll start there. I'm going to go up here. I'll put this remote event, and I'll put it down at the bottom. Local collect RE tool, wait for child, and then you should see the collect RE. There we go. I have a collect script too, not that. Collect RE, the remote event. All righty. And in activated or on activated, when we do our mining, at the end of the 5 seconds, right, we're going to do clink, 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 right? And at the end of the 5 seconds, we are going to do our collect RE fire server, right? We're going to pass in a few things though. We're going to pass in the part, the one that we actually clicked on, even if we're not like touching it. Remember, we only have to be close. We're going to pass in the parts mining type. What did we call that? We have to look at our workspace, mine, deposits. Oh, here it is. Mining type gets cloned to each of these, right? So mine type, we'll say part.mine type. Make sure you spell it right. And then we have the value. So we're going to pass in that value. It says copper for us, but you might have a lot of different mines. That's what you're going to change. All right, so we got that. Now we need to get this on the server side. We're going to go to our collect script, which is down here on our pickaxe, right here, collect. Right, and then we need a variable, local collect RE, tool, wait for child, collect RE. All right, we'll capture that event when it's fired. Collect RE dot on server event connect function. Remember, we're going to get more this time. We'll always get the player because it came from the client, right? The remote event was fired on the client. We're going to get the part, and then we're going to get the deposit type, right? It's going to come over as a string, if I could spell it right. Deposit type. Got it. All right, now remember that part, we're going to make it transparent. Transparency equals 1. What happens when we make those parts transparent? Remember, in the mine, we have an event that's fired when we make something transparent. That's going to start the spawning, and it's also going to turn off the can query so your mouse isn't going to hit it. Now we'll do local. We're going to need a min and a max value. We're also going to need a random number generator because we don't want to just get one every time. Let's do that up here. Let's go ahead and do rand for random number generator, random dot new. You can put a tick value in, but I think you're fine. All right, and then we'll do a min value. We'll say 1, right? Because you might get a couple pieces every time you mine. Max value, I don't know, for sake of argument, let's do 4. Now you could put this min and max on your parts, right? Just where we put the mining stuff. If you go up here on these deposits, you could just clone the min and max value on these just like you clone the mine type, so that some mines just offer smaller amounts, right? Or maybe just the max, but I'm not going to do that here. It's just an idea. All right, so we're going to get the number of points we're going to get, number of pieces of metal. I'll just say points, right? So that's going to be how many pieces of copper we get. I'll do rand, next integer, right? We're going to get our min. We're going to go to max. And then we have our player. The player comes in. We'll get the leaderboard, which we call leader stats on the player. We'll do a bracket. We're going to look for the deposit type. Right? And we have copper on our leaderboard, and then the copper deposit type has to be spelled the same, right? So if you add tin, you're going to have to add tin to your leaderboard too, and silver and what have you. All right, there's going to be a value. We'll do a plus equals the number of points. Let's see what we got with that. So it should disappear. It'll also reappear. And our leaderboard will update. We don't have a billboard GUI yet, but we will get that soon. All right, here's our copper deposit. We click on it. Check out copper up here. Ooh, we got 3. Let's look to see if we have any errors in the output window. We don't. We'll click on it again. Remember, we have that set to respawn in 45 seconds. It's gone. Let's get this last one. And notice those pieces aren't in the way when I'm clicking on it, just because they're invisible. We have the can query off. All right, nice. And this should come back, remember? So what do we get, 3 every time? That's not a very good random number generator. So this will come back. It'll pop back up. We'll get another piece. I'll pause the video. Well, that will take the effect away, right? Any second. We should have made it 30 seconds. There we go. We got one that came back. And then maybe 10 seconds later, we're going to get another one. All right. You believe me though, right? So on the next video, what we're going to do is make a little billboard GUI to kind of fly up in the air. Up, there's the other one. Fly up in the air and show us how many pieces we got.